Hey guys, Dislater Magic here, and it's time for another overlooked but awesome card. Now, as far as overlookedness, this is from 2004, so it's kind of old, and the last time I asked a group of people, only about a quarter of them had ever heard of this card. So it's a little obscure, but if you're familiar with the set, it is legendary. This is one of the absolute most famous cards from the set. It's also one of my all-time favorites. We're, of course, talking about Cheaty Face. It's a 2/2 flying Ifrit, which is weird because I could have sworn the Ifriti were fire demons, but I guess they're also genies or jinn or whatever. You know, RPGs are really inconsistent. Anyway, it states, you may sneak Cheaty Face into play at any time without paying for it, but if an opponent catches you right away, that player may remove Cheaty Face from the game. So you pull the old, hey, look over there, boom, slap it in, and then, I don't know what right away would mean. I mean, probably within the same phase? My technique with this card is to put it directly under a land and square it up. If they physically can't see it, but it is on the battlefield in play, I mean, there's not necessarily a rule against stacking cards on top of each other. There probably is, actually. You mostly just gotta slap it down on your row of creatures and hope they don't notice, which will never happen. But still, it's fun to try. Now, in case you haven't caught on, this card is not legal in any format, even Commander, and boy, do they let some crap go in Commander. Way back in 1998, somewhat shortly actually after the game was invented, they came out with a set called Unglued, and it was just kind of jokes and like parodies of old cards and that sort of thing. You know, kind of poking fun at the game and just having fun and making chaotic cards that would never exist. And then they, I guess due to popular demand, brought back another set called Unhinged in November 2004. So hopefully, considering 2017 is about to roll around, the special summer set will be an unset. Everybody's been asking for it, and I don't know, I'd buy it. Everybody I talk to says they'd buy it. They want to draft with it. It looks like a riot. So automatic selling product. They got to come out with it eventually. I think this year was Conspiracy 2, and then the big bonus set next year will definitely be an unset. I can't imagine what else it would be. Both of these sets were just kind of like draft tournament decks. You'd go to like a special event, I guess, kind of like Conspiracy, or just whenever your LGS wanted to run it, and you would draft just these cards. And they could only really be played with themselves and only in that format. Some of them are completely nuts. They all just like break the rules of Magic, and some of them say like whenever your opponent says something or like fails to ask something in the form of a question, or every time their like elbows hit the table or something like that. It's so totally wacky. But the granddaddy of them all is Cheaty Face because it's just so funny. Now, it's a little bit less funny considering the amount of cheaters that have been caught in recent pro-level tournaments, you know, because cheating's a little bit less funny now, but it's still a hilarious card. I mean, on the artwork, not only is he above the actual frame, but he's, like, stealing part of the mana symbol. Like, what the hell? It actually does cost 3, by the way. This is just so outrageously funny to me, so I'm really hoping that they do this again and print something even wackier. If you've never heard of it, you should definitely just go to the Gatherer website and check out all the cards printed in Unhinged and Unglued because they're pretty darn funny. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself when you read this card, hey, wait a minute, that's not legal in the game, though. How can the card tell you to do that when the game says you can't do that? Well, whatever is printed on a card can override any rule in the game. Like, for example, there's that stupid rat card that says you can have more than 4 of this card in your library. Normally, you cannot do that with the rules of the game, but the card overrides it. So whatever's written on the card, you can do it. Hey, if a card said pay 2 mana and flip the table, then guess what? Send that sucker into orbit. My only question with this card is, can you just hide it up your sleeve or in your pocket? Does it actually have to be in your deck? And I think it does. To even be considered a playable card, or to even be able to consider or do something on the card, it has to be in the game, not outside the game. I'm not 100% sure about that, though, and it would be just hilarious to take like 16 of these and just hide them all over in my pockets and stuff and just keep throwing them out there every time somebody blinks. If you ever want to play a bit of a practical joke on somebody, that's a great way to do it too, by the way, because even though it has a silver border, they might not immediately know that that's not like a legal card that you're supposed to actually play with. Once they see the set symbol, though, I will say that most people have heard of Unglued and Unhinged. So yes, one of the greatest cards in all of Unhinged. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next video.